On cold and dark and wintry nights, many fear the worst, especially in October and on the 31st. But though the dark may trouble me, there's nothing I should fear, for shadows have no power to scare when Jesus, he is near. For God is always by my side, morning, noon and night. For Jesus is my champion. He said, I am the light. Well, hello everybody. And we're starting to need to use light a lot more at the moment, aren't we? As this half-term comes to a close and we're almost looking forward to our half-term holiday, aren't we? You know, we'll have noticed across this half-term the fact that as we've woken up, the mornings have been a little bit darker. As we've been finishing school, the nights have been getting darker a little bit earlier. I'll tell you something else as well. On October the 31st, they're going to get darker still. Do you know why? Because the clocks go back. But October the 31st is also known as something else, isn't it? It's known as Halloween. Or to give it its full title, All Hallows Eve. Now, hallows is an old English word which means holy. And I guess we ought to know that really, because we use it a lot, don't we? In the Lord's Prayer, we say, hallowed be your name, or holy is your name. So All Hallows Eve really means the night before Holy Day. And Holy Day is a day in the church's calendar, November the 1st, known as All Saints' Day. It's a day when we remember with thanksgiving all those folks who have lived their lives loving God, loving Jesus, but are no longer with us. They might have died hundreds or even thousands of years ago, or perhaps even more recently. It might be family and friends that we remember who've spoken to us about the love of God and the love of Jesus, and have lived their lives for him. And so we celebrate their lives, we remember their lives with happiness and joy, and we celebrate with light. But across the years, across the centuries, traditions often get slightly warped. And that's certainly the case with Halloween. Because nowadays, lots of people remember the dead in frightening ways. They'll get dressed up with scary costumes and put frightening masks on and try to scare one another. Well, you know, it can be fun kind of getting dressed up in costumes. It's certainly fun eating all the lovely tasty treats that are on offer at this time of the year. God wants us to have fun. He wants us to enjoy our lives, but he wants to enjoy our lives remembering good things, celebrating good things. And so at this time of year, it's right that we remember that as well, that we celebrate goodness and the light that Jesus brings to our lives. Now, one way we can do that is by creating lanterns. There's an old English tradition about creating lanterns from originally carving out turnips, which if you've ever had a go at is really hard. But over recent years, we've started using the pumpkin because it's much easier to carve out. And you'll see pumpkin lanterns, I think, appearing all over the place in the coming days. Now, some of these pumpkin lanterns might have really quite scary faces on them. One I saw last year looked as if it was even being sick. Bleh. But originally, the lanterns were carved to celebrate good things and to remind us about the love of God. Now, Helen Wood, a lot of you probably know Helen. She's a school governor, but she's also part of our team for the family event Praise in the Pen, which we hold at St Oswald's in Ascrig. Helen has created some wonderful pumpkin lanterns for us, and I'm going to show you those now. Have a look at these. Aren't they absolutely wonderful? Now look at the way that those lanterns are celebrating things. We've got on this one here, we've got that cross and the light shining out from it, remembering that Jesus is the light of the world. But we've also got these sheep here, because Jesus said, I am the good shepherd, didn't he? Or we might carve one like this over here, with the eyes as hearts, reminding us of God's love for us. Again, that cross of Jesus for the nose. But look at the mouth. Now that's a strange old sign there, isn't it? I wonder what that's about. Well, I'm not going to tell you. Instead, I want to see if you can find that out for yourselves. Do a little bit of research. Why would Christians use that symbol and that sign? But on this lantern, it's there as the mouth. Now, those are lanterns that can be put up and in the windowsill, shining out and celebrating and remembering all the good things of God. And you know, following Jesus can be a bit like being a pumpkin. You what, Rev Dave? How can following Jesus be like a pumpkin? Well, if you remember the cards that we probably gave you out last year, I'll tell you why. Because pumpkins live in a messy field usually, and then they get picked up and loved, don't they? Well, God lifts us up and he takes us in and he washes all the muck and the dirt and the things that mark our lives. He washes all that away from us. He creates a new, smiling face inside of us. And he brings us to life by putting his light, the light of Christ, inside each one of us so we can shine out that love of Jesus for those around us. So have some fun this half-term holiday and have some fun this season, carving out your pumpkins. And perhaps as you're doing it, you can think of how wonderful Jesus is as you do it. So until we see each other again, God bless you all, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye now.